Recording in progress. Okay, fantastic. Right, recording in progress, recording. Welcome, everybody. This is the Manhattan Community Board 1 full board meeting. My name is Tammy Meltzer, and it is October 25th. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:07. As is our usual custom, we start with a public session. And so let me go to the public session, see who has signed in, and we will call people in order. You have a timer that is running, so please be mindful of your time. In the order that we are going, be Nick Hamdi, Kimberly Flynn, and then let's just see.
If you're able to raise your hand as Tammy calls you, please do. It lets us find you faster. But Nick sounds like, yep, thank you so much. I'm unmuting you now.
Oh. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So I have 2 minutes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and thank you for your time. My name is Nick Hamdi. I'll be the general manager of Warren Street Hotel, currently under development at 86 Warren Street in Tribeca. We plan to open the hotel in the fall of 2023 with 57 individually designed rooms and suites, 12 residences, along with a bar and restaurant for locals, hotel guests, and residents. Warren Street Hotel is a part of Ferndale Hotels, which operates 8 hotels in London, where it's headquartered, and also 2 sister properties in New York, the Crosby Street Hotel in Soho and the Whitby Hotel in Midtown. Both our New York properties have become popular and well-respected hotels, and we anticipate doing the same with Warren Street Hotel, a neighborhood establishment where everyone will be welcome, whether for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or afternoon tea. Our owners, Tim and Kit Kemp, have always said that hotels should be living things, not stuffy institutions, and we will certainly operate the hotel in this way, with Kit's whimsical style and playful style on display throughout the hotel. I myself have worked for Ferndale for 14 years and understand how important it is to integrate into the local community. I've been in touch with a number of the immediate neighbors, along with the Downtown Alliance and the Tribeca Citizen. I also welcome any suggestions you may have on who to reach out to in due course. If you have any questions or queries regarding the project, you can reach out to me directly at nickhamdi@ferndale.com. Thank you very much for your time.
Nick, thank you very much for coming. If you don't mind sending your information to our district manager, and we would be happy to help connect you. So thank you so much. All righty, next we're going to go to Kimberly Flynn, and after Kimberly Flynn, Justine Pucha. Lucian, you're going to unmute Kimberly for her? I saw her hand go up and then down.
Yep, I requested unmute. Kimberly?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Kimberly. You're unmuted.
Great. Kimberly Flynn, Director of 9/11 Environmental Action, and I want to speak about the World Trade Center Health Program, and I want to make some clarifications about the 9/11 Responder and Survivor Health Funding Correction Act, a congressional bill which is supported in a reso that will be considered by the board later tonight. As you know, the World Trade Center Health Program provides WTC specialized medical and mental health treatment and monitoring to 9/11 responders and survivors, and will do so until 2090. Because in recent years, the program is seeing a major rise in enrollments as well as cancer diagnoses, the program will be facing a deficit starting in 2026. Because by law, the program can't run a deficit, beginning on October 1st of 2024, the program will need to stop enrolling new members. And there will likely be other cost-cutting measures. This will hurt the program, its members, and the people who have yet to apply. And we don't want this harm to be prevented. The reso supports a bill to plug the deficit, approximately $3 billion over a 10-year period. Tonight, I want to make 2 things clear. One, the World Trade Center Health Program will continue to be open for new enrollees in the next 2 years, no matter what happens. If you have been procrastinating, now is a good time to move forward and apply. You can apply on the program's website, cdc.gov/WTC. I can send the link to Lucian. If you have questions about applying or questions about the program, please feel free to give me a call at 917-647-7074. The second thing I want to make clear is that this looming deficit that needs plugging only needs plugging for 10 years. Then another funding formula kicks in that will be far better at keeping the program afloat to 2090. But again, if you have symptoms you believe are related to 9/11 or the environmental aftermath of 9/11, it's time to apply now. Do not wait. I'm happy to answer any questions at any point. I'll be on and off, but I will get back on during the new business portion. Thank you so much for considering this reso.
Thank you, Kimberly. Justine?
Thanks so much. I'm not going to take up too much time because I want to reiterate what Kimberly Flynn just said. It's really important that the resolution that we have under new business at the end of this agenda tonight is passed, because there are so many people who are becoming sick. They didn't know they were sick before. People dying of 9/11 related cancers and other illnesses are now more than the number of people who died on 9/11/2001. And it is incumbent upon our city and our state and our country, and this is a federal bill, to take care of those people. And the World Trade Center Health Program cannot be allowed to stop enrolling new members, because the program needs to continue, and the people who are in the program now need the help, but people who are going to be sick going forward, especially the children, people who were children on 9/11, they need they need to have our support, and they need to have this bill in place. Thank you so much. And again, thanks, Kimberly, for your information. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much, Justine. I really appreciate that. I'm taking a look through. I see at this time, I'm going to refresh the browser one more time just in case for technology's spectacularness. I see no other signups for speaking during the public session. Lucian or Lucy, can you verify that for me?
I'll verify that. Give me one more.
Because if that's the case, we're going to move along fairly quickly tonight, which I know is not something that people would object to.
Tammy, there's no one even signed up after the 6 p.m. deadline, so I think you're safe to move to the public hearing.
Fantastic. So with that, at 6:15, we close the public session and we'll be opening the public hearing. And I see, I'm going to leave it open for, I think I have to leave it open for at least a minute, but I do not see anyone who has signed up for the public hearing.
Tammy, we have one hand up from a board member.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Is this the time to comment on the budget requests, or will there be time for us to comment when we vote on them in the business session?
Frankly, Jeff, this is the public hearing. Knock yourself out. No problem.
Okay. We had discussed in the Environmental Protection Committee to include an item asking for funding for the Flati Seaport Master Plan. And although there is a request for the sewer connect funding, stormwater overflow or whatever funding that in connection with that plan, there was no request for funding for the plan itself. And as we know, that's the one aspect of resiliency that does not have capital funding in place.
Thank you for your comments during the business session. We will look and add that as a friendly amendment. Anybody else have any questions or comments or feedback for the budget session?
No, and I'm sorry I didn't raise my hand. I just can't find it fast enough. But I have a question about the World Trade Center resolution.
Not here. Not
Okay,
here.
not here. No, not about
That's
it
during the session
physically.
itself. This is specifically a public hearing about the budget.
Okay,
That's
no,
city budget.
about
That's
the
all
budget
this-
only.
Correct.
I just wanted to say that I don't have a copy of the final version. I don't think anybody does. That was my point only, but okay.
Lucian will circulate a link if you're missing it was the same link that's been going out in every meeting. So we will, Lucian, can you drop that in the chat, please?
You can do that. Also, I would encourage this hearing is also important if there's any councilmatic or borough president funding items that you wish to speak to. It's about the fiscal year 24 budget writ large, not simply our role in it. So this is also your opportunity to speak on any portion of that and any responsibility.
So I have one thing to add to it, and it would be to fund. Let's go Rosa first. I see Rosa's hand out, and then I'll go. Rosa?
Thank you. You can remove number 77 from the budget because that has already been paid for and completed.
Thank you for that.
Lost one, which is awesome.
I don't remember if we have it and I didn't see it necessarily. Whether or not we have, I'd like to, as a member of the public, request that the DCWP gets enforced additional investigators to help speed the process and ensure compliance with the many responsibilities that they will have with the tobacco retail licenses, as well as open restaurants going forward. So that's my public comment. On that note, I see Alice Blank's hand up again. This is public comment. Alice, go.
I guess I'm a little confused if this is the public comment to add two items to the budget, or is this something you want to wait till you review the budget?
If you're doing it, you can do it here as part of like public record as an individual, or you can make a friendly amendment. It's up to you.
I don't really care. I'd say the most expeditious as possible. So there's two. One was the in land use, it was approved to ask for a funding for a readaptation study of the existing Manhattan Detention Center complex for reuse for the borough-based jail program. And two was, and this I don't think was discussed in environmental, but I can't quite recall. I thought it had appeared at some point, but it certainly appears in our resolution, is for an independent consultant for the borough-based jail project, environmental consultant.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, what I thought the public hearing would be best is for things that were missing that we did not discuss. So those are perfect to add. So thank you very much.
Yep.
Does anybody have anything else? Hearing nothing, seeing no hands, I'm closing the public hearing down at 6:20. Thank you very much for your participation, for everybody. Let's start with the business session. Let's shoot the agenda back up. We will be doing an adoption of the September 2022 minutes. Please remember, all board members must have cameras on, period. In order to count for attendance, which starts at the first resolution, your cameras need to be on. If you need to step away, you need to raise a hand, do a shout out, say, I'm going to use Alice as an example, Alice Blank stepping out of the room, as if we were in person, because we cannot see you leave. You can certainly turn your camera off at that point and step away. But with the guidance from the borough president's office is you can't like walk away for a half an hour and come back. Really, you're gone for more than 20 minutes, you will be considered as left the meeting. Alrighty. So with that, do I have any changes for the September 2022 minutes? Seeing
Question.
awesome. I'm gonna second that myself. And then Colin, take it away, roll call.
Yep, apologies, I was in the middle of making macaroni and cheese for my daughter. Let me just find the sheet.
Want me to do it? It's up to you.
No, I got it. I'm there.
can do it.
Macaroni and cheese is very important. I apologize. Emma Russo. Blank. And I remind you, please all turn your cameras on. I see that there are currently 14 cameras off, so please turn them on.
Blank,
Alice
yes.
Blank.
Thanks, Colin.
Kennedy. Excuse me, Brown Kennedy. I apologize. Cameron.
Cameron, yes.
Cassell. Cawley. Chang.
Chang, yes.
Chapman.
Chapman, yes.
Charcudian. Cole. Coleman.
Yes.
Okay. Horman.
Mormon, yes.
Kucha.
Kuchia, yes.
Curtis.
Curtis, yes.
Flores.
Flores, yes.
Flynn.
Flynn, yes.
Forsberg.
Forsberg, yes.
Friedman.
Friedman, yes.
Froman.
Froman, yes.
Galloway.
Galloway, yes.
Goldstein.
Goldstein, yes.
Grant. Grant. Gupta. James.
Absent.
Okay. Joyce.
Here, yes.
Jew. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Yep. Yes. Drew, yes.
Thank you. Kay.
Yes.
Cannell.
Cannell, yes.
Kettering.
Kettering, yes.
Capel. Lerner.
Lerner, yes.
Lewinson.
Lewinson, yes.
Lynn. Lyon.
Lyon, yes.
Mahoney, yes. McHugh. Meltzer.
Meltzer, yes. And I should also tell you Capella is excused and Ehrman is excused.
Minsley.
Minsley, yes.
Moore.
Moore, yes.
Padya. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing. Robinson. Schneck.
Schneck, yes.
Starr.
Star, yes.
Sung. Jimmy.
Song, yes.
Vera Sung.
Vera, yes.
Townley.
Yes.
She. You.
You, yes.
Zelter.
Zelter, yes.
Motion passes 34-000.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's move to our updates from our electeds. I do see we're going to start with Hannah Wienerman from represent Jerry Nadler's office. Hannah, welcome so much. And request to unmute you. Lucia?
Hi, sorry. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Hi,
And
everyone.
I'm sorry to say welcome and thank you. And this will be your last meeting with us, I am guessing.
No, I'm here through December. Yeah, I'm here as long as we represent CB1, so I'm here. So
Love you, Hannah. Love you.
Good
Thank you. Keep going.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hannah Wienerman from Congressman Jerry Nather's office, and I wanted to flag a few constituent services updates. So the first one is the student loan forgiveness application is now live at studentaid.gov. The Biden administration encourages people to apply so that applications can start being processed amid the Court of Appeals deliberation. So we'll keep you posted if anything changes, but you should definitely apply if you are eligible. Additionally, if you're part of the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, there's a limited time waiver that allows borrowers to receive credit for past periods of repayment that would otherwise not qualify for the PSLF. So the deadline to apply for this is October 31st, and that's also at studentaid.gov. Two healthcare enrollment deadlines that are upcoming that are very important. So Medicare open enrollment is October 15th to December 7th. This is the time where you can enroll and switch in Medicare or Medicare Advantage plans. So New York State's HICAP, HIICAP, is a great resource for those looking for guidance about which program may be best for them. You can call their helpline at 1-800-701-0501. Additionally, the New York State Health and Dental Insurance through the Marketplace begins November 16th and lasts through January 31st. And you can get information for that on their website. On a local note, I wanted to share that Congressman Nather secured $2.57 million in funds from the National Park Service through the 9/11 Memorial Act grant program. And this was awarded to the National 9/11 Memorial and Memorial Plaza. And the funding will provide critical support for continued operations, maintenance, and security. Lastly, I sent this to Tammy and Lucian earlier, but the FAA and National Park Service announced a proposed commercial air tour management public agreement for the Statue of Liberty and Governor's Island. So that announcement went out October 21st, and the 30-day public review period for the plan starts and will end November 21st. Now, we personally think that that's not enough time. So Congressman Nather is requesting an extension for the comment period. So I'll let you know if that changes. But if folks want to submit public comments, they can submit them through the National Park Service Planning, Environment, and Public Comment website at parkplanning.nps.gov. So I will keep the board posted on everything. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly, 212-367-7350 or hannah.wienerman@mail.house.gov. Thank you all.
You're not getting off that quick. I actually raised my hand, so don't run.
I'm here.
Yeah, we had a large conversation, which I appreciate Robert coming last month about the 9/11 Museum and the cost of funding of security to be able to keep the campus open for extended hours. Do you know if this grant that they have received has any, will constitute any changes to their current hours?
So
for
I
the
don't,
exterior?
I don't know that yet. I do know that our legislative director wanted to reach out to you and set up a follow-up conversation with you. So I will make sure he'll have more information about the exact funding allotment and then just generally any updates we have moving forward about, you know, ensuring that it becomes fully operational and fully open to the public as it should be.
Perfect. We look forward to seeing him. Does anyone, I see Alice Blank has a hand up. And by the way, Alice, before you go, the email that we got from Hannah with this notification, we will circle to the board tomorrow for what she's talking about public comment. Alice, your turn.
Thanks, Hannah. I just wanted to ask if you could update us in the not too distant future on two things that we've talked about previously, is the Metropolitan Correctional Center. What's happening with that? You know, is it going to be a correctional center? When would that be renovated? Just general update on that. And two would be the African American, I think it's called the History Museum at the African American Burial Ground. These were two projects I know we've reviewed. If we could get an update on those.
Sure. Let me check in with our legislative team, but yes, it's definitely, you know, it's on our long list of agenda items for CB1. So I will make sure to circle back.
Thanks.
Okay, Wendy, I see your hand is up next, please. Wendy, your hand went down.
Oh, sorry about that. I needed to unmute. Sorry, my apologies. I'm talking, but no one's listening. So Hannah, thank you very much. I just wanted to bring up, as you know, Kimberly Flynn mentioned it at the beginning of the public session. The money that the 9/11 survivors are looking for, and I know that your office is very interested and very supportive. But I just wanted to ask you if you heard any more, and what we can do in your eyes to help make sure that my daughter and other kids that are just finding out they're getting sick now will be, covered in the future. Thank you.
So I know that, conversations are ongoing, so I don't have an immediate update, but, we know the importance and sort of crucial nature of this bill to make sure that the program can run successfully for years to come. I think that just engaging in offices are really important. To contact both your senators' offices are also really important. I believe that my colleague Andrew gave a letter to or a template of how to write out comments to Speaker Pelosi's office as well. So I will happily come back when I have more tangible updates for you. I know that this is an ongoing process that is of utmost concern to us, but I don't have an immediate update for tonight's board meeting.
Certainly, we want to make sure the pressure is on, immediately, certainly before the next congressional crew comes in. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a priority for us. I completely understand.
Thank you, Wendy. Justine, your hand is up.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks for everything that you're doing, and thank the congressman for everything that he's doing for us. Just to kind of follow up with what Wendy was asking about the 9/11 World Trade Center Health Fund program. What is the urgency here? I mean, we're aware that if we don't get action soon, but what is soon, as of 2024, the program is going to stop enrolling new people. So how much time do we have to get this done? I guess is my biggest question, is to get the extra funding.
So I know that I don't know long term exactly what it is, but I know that in this current Congress, it's a priority for us to get it past the Senate as a passed bill. So be it an omnibus or be it a standalone bill, I think that the omnibus is probably more likely. They're currently trying to figure out strategically how to get it passed. So that's where kind of the conversation that Wendy was referencing of just these conversations are ongoing. So, I don't know the nature of them, but I know that it's a priority for Senator Schumer. I know that it's a priority for obviously our office. So we'll keep the pressure up on our end. That's all I have for now, but I'm happy to update both, the board writ large, but also that smaller group of folks that, dialogued with us earlier in the month when there is an update to be shared.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hannah, for coming tonight. And we will see you next month. We'll move from here to Emily Lang from Senator Kavanaugh's office. Welcome, Emily.
In transit, but just a couple of updates from our office. We are continuing to work with our state agencies on 5 World Trade Center, discussing the feasibility study that was produced by the 100% Affordable 5 World Trade Center Coalition, and we're hopeful that we're making progress on that. We're also continuing our monthly 250 Water Street Working Group meetings, and we're able to get a lot of really great noise data from DEP in the past couple of weeks, which I believe everyone in the working group has now. So we were really glad to get that out, and they'll continue to send monthly, I believe, noise data as they get it. Other things, Senator Kavanaugh is going to be hosting a hearing in the Housing Committee on deed theft this Thursday at 10 a.m. It'll be in person and virtual, so if anyone's interested, you can watch that on the Senate website. We are also going to be hosting a free flu shot drive that I sent the details to Lucian already. It's right outside of CB1, but we're doing it at Smith Houses at the TA room. So please feel free to get the word out. If you need a flu shot, please stop by. No insurance required, just ID. And a couple other things that I'm sure you guys already know about, but just want to flag that the Trust for Governors Island is hosting community briefings on the proposals for the Center for Climate Solutions. One of them is going to be tomorrow evening, and the next one is, I think, mid-November, but those are going to be at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, and it'll be a great opportunity to give some feedback before the final proposal is selected. Similarly, as you all know, the Army Corps of Engineers released their resiliency plan for New York and very large resiliency plan, but covers part of Lower Manhattan. They are also doing some public meetings to share info about the plan and take questions. So would really encourage folks to join those. I know this CB1 has been really engaged in resiliency efforts, and I think there are a lot of important questions that we still need to get answered. So those are happening throughout this week and next week, and I believe there will be some more coming up as well. But that's it for me.
Tammy, you're muted.
Yep, I have hands up. Sorry. Thank you very much, Vicky. All right, we're going to go in this order for hands up. Pat Moore, Laura, Richard, Francis.
Hi, Anna. How are you? Just wanted to find out why the meetings at the Jewish Museum are not hybrid, because many people can't attend in person. Is there some way that can be included?
Yeah, that's a great point that we were actually wondering as well. So let me check in with the trust and see if there's a way. It's possible they're going to be live streamed, but I'm not sure. But let me check and get back to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Laura?
That was exactly my question. Because I really want to attend, but I would like to be able to attend virtually. So, and I know there's one tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, if they're not planning to do them hybrid, we'll ask and see if they can do that. It shouldn't be hard to set that up.
And yeah, it would be great if no, all of the current in-person ones are able to at least be live streamed at a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard Corman and then Francis.
Hi, Emily. Very quick question. I didn't catch what the Thursday hearing is on. Could you just repeat that?
Yeah, so it's going to be on deed theft, and we're doing it with Senator Zellner Myrie. I don't have as much information because I don't do legislative stuff, but if you're interested, I can get some more details and send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Sure.
Okay. Francis?
Hi, I just could you just please repeat the time and the date for the flu shot? And
Yeah, oh yeah. It's November.
do you have to be a resident of CB1 in order to participate?
No, so open to anyone and everyone. It's going to be Thursday, November 3rd from 12 to 4 p.m. And we have a registration link to sign up for a time, but you can come anytime. The form is just to help us stagger out people coming, but I can send you that info.
Okay.
Yep. If you send it,
Thank
we'll
you.
distribute it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Francis, for asking. I see no other hands up. Seeing no other hands, thank you so much, Emily. And I have one question if you're still there. Are you on still? I think she hung up already. That's okay. All right, so
I'm here, Tammy.
Hey, so do we have a date for the 250 Water Street Working Group for November?
Yes, it's the same. It's second Tuesday of the month. I think I'm gonna have to look and see. We might have to change it because I believe it's on election day, and our office is technically closed, and I'm sure other people as well. So we might have to move it around, but that is when it is right now. I think it's November 8th.
Thank you very much. That's what I was checking. Alrighty, thank you. From here, we're going to go to Theo Perez from Assemblymember News Office. After Theo, we'll do Andrew Chang from the Borough President, and then Max will take us home from Councilmember Marquez's office.
All right. Hello, Tammy, and hello, Community Board. My name is Theo Perez from the Office of Assemblymember Yuleen New. I don't have too much to update you all on tonight. We submitted our testimony for the 5 World Trade Center comment period. We hope many of you did as well, and we continue to be engaged in conversations regarding that project. We also continue to attend and be contributing members to the 250 Water Street Working Group, making sure that we're all being protected and safe going forward there. We've had a couple of people reach out to our office recently regarding the Battery Park City bills that our office and Senator Kavanaugh's office passed in this past legislative session and when they'll be signed by the governor. The governor has till the end of the year to act on them, and we continue to be involved in constructive conversation with the chamber towards getting those bills signed. Otherwise, we've been generally around the community. We were at the Lower Manhattan Historical Association's Alexander Hamilton Immigrant Achievement Awards this past week. Not this past week, a few weeks ago, where we honored Wellington Chen of the Chinatown bid, as well as Michael Arad, who designed the 9/11 Memorial, and Manuel Castro of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. We are recently at a celebration of 32 BJs, where we got to honor some of the porters who work in our district specifically. In Brookfield Place, one of the porters there was awarded. So continuing to support those workers, encourage you all to do so as well for the people who make all of our buildings possible in Lower Manhattan. Otherwise, that really hits most of the main points. We do still have some PPE available. I know, Lucy, and I owe you a call about some of that because we have some masks that we should be able to give you all in preparation for going in person for the next community board meeting. Otherwise, if you know anyone else in need of masks, we're trying to get things out of there by the end of the year. And that is pretty much all I have for you all tonight.
Okay. Let's see if you have any. I see no hands up for you. So thank you very, very much. Oh, no, Richard Corman's hand is up. Sorry, Theo. One moment. Richard?
No problem.
Actually, Theo, apologies. It actually isn't for you. It's for Emily, if she's still here. I forgot to ask her this. Actually, you may be able to answer as well. It's regarding the status of the Scree-Dree bill.
Yes, I know some about that.
Okay, good.
So just what the status is on that bill specifically, asking?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we had conversations with central staff this past week. There's essentially one piece of language in it where it's unclear whether that language is necessary to get the effect we're trying to get. So there's a little bit of conversation around that. Again, Senator Kavanaugh's office, I think, is more in touch with the governor's office because on that particular piece of language. But generally, that is the hang up with that right now. I expect that to be resolved. It could be that the bill passes as is and is signed by the governor soon. It might be that it needs a chapter amendment to slightly alter that language to make it a little more clear. But it should be coming hopefully soon. We continue to have constructive conversations on it.
If they have to change the language, does it have to go back to the legislature for approval next session?
My understanding with the way these normally work is it would be what's called a chapter amendment. So the governor signs it conditionally on going back to the legislature, and they would vote it in January, sort of at the very beginning of the session. Hopefully, it's unclear. We're talking it through with council to see whether or not they need to make that language change or not. But if they do, that would be the process.
Thanks, Theo.
Tammy, I raised my hand at the last minute. Can I just?
I see you. I see you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to say, okay, yeah, sorry. Follow-up question, Theo. Is that the bill that is that also extends the ground lease in Battery Park City for 50 years?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. That's the same. I wasn't sure if there was a different Dree and Scree bill. Thank you. Since Richard asked that question, I will ask about the other Battery Park City related bill, if you're aware, about a majority of residents on the BPCA board.
Yeah, we're still pushing for it. We continue to have constructive conversations with the governor's office on it. We encourage you all, if it's a bill that's important to you, as it is to us, to feel free to reach out to all your elected officials and to the governor's office to let them know that.
Thank you so much, Theo. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay. So seeing no other hands up, let's continue on. Andrew Chang, welcome. Andrew?
First thing I want to mention is that we'll be hosting.
Andrew, for some reason you got muted again. You're there?
All right.
Okay, welcome back. Yep.
Good evening, everybody. It's Andrew from the Manhattan Borough President's Office. The first thing I want to mention is that we'll be resuming our leadership training series for community board members and interested community members. We're going to be doing this the week of November 14th. Please stay tuned from an email from our office. These trainings will cover topics such as combating bias, conflict of interest, equal employment opportunity, as well as sessions on understanding the city's budget, land use and zoning 101, and more. So please stay tuned for an email from our office. It's the week of November 14th. Secondly, we're still collecting donations for our donation drive for asylum seekers. These are folks who have been bussed in from other states. We're still looking for new toiletries, hygiene products such as body washes, toothbrushes, toothpaste, menstrual products. We're still looking for new packaged clothing such as underwear, t-shirts, socks, diapers, and new winter clothing. We can drop them off at our downtown office at 1 Center Street, 19th floor south, or go to our uptown office at 431 West 125th Street. Or you can just reach out to me if you want to schedule a time when you can drop these items off. And I guess, and then the last thing I want to mention is that we about a few weeks ago we released a report regarding how the city can deal with commerce delivery vehicles which have been taking public space, sidewalks, and roadways and whatnot. These vehicles have been using these public space for their delivery sorting, and it's caused a variety of quality of life issues. And so the report is on our website. I'll put the link in the chat as well. But basically, we want to ensure that we want the city to better enforce traffic laws, make e-commerce deliveries more sustainable, and ensure that residential neighborhoods can meet growing demand for these type of deliveries. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
You're on mute, Tammy.
That's twice, thanks. Justine, we'll let you go first for your eagle eye on my mute button, and then we'll do Richard Corman.
Thanks so much. I just have a quick question about the timing, the times of the drop-offs. Is it just be like between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday, for the dropping off for the clothing and other items for the asylum seekers?
Yeah, so office hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So yeah, so basically, yeah, you can stop off.
Anytime. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's
5
great.
days.
I know that a bunch of folks are coordinating, different groups are coordinating different drop-offs, so
Yeah.
that's
And
good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to. Yes, thank you. And I forgot to mention we're partnering with the New York Immigration Coalition for this effort.
Yes, which is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Richard?
Yeah, I actually also wanted to ask about the donation drive. I know the borough president has sent information out, but if any way you could send out additional or send it out again, because I'd like to distribute it and sort of organize something as well.
Sure, Richard. I can.
Andrew?
I can
Yeah.
send an email out to. I can send an email out. Yes, not a problem.
That'd be great. Thanks, Andrew.
Okay. Morton Minsley, you're next.
Yes, hi. On the subject of the donation drive, we did a donation drive at PS 150, and we had a really great response. And we're going to be delivering the proceeds of the donation, the items donated, tomorrow to the Manhattan Borough President's office tomorrow morning. We have a bunch of vehicles that parents have volunteered to use to assist the transport. So if anybody has anything they want to donate, they want to meet us at the new location at PS 150 at so early at 8:30 tomorrow morning. We'll be there loading it up and transporting it to Mark Levine's office. Just so I just want to share that and spread the word out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Morton.
Thank you, Morton. Thank you, Andrew. And with that, let's move on to Max from Councilmember Marte's office. Max, welcome.
See you all. So we have a good amount of updates. I guess first big thing
is participatory budgeting. We have about 6 days left in participatory budgeting. The deadline is October 31st. This is basically the opportunity for you to submit ideas of, funding, funding projects. Our office has $1 million that we get to spend. You get to propose ideas, then eventually vote on them. So these can be things like school improvement, park improvements, any kind of capital project you think, the community needs. Please, we want to get as many proposals as possible. So we have, I've sent the link around. So yeah, kind of 6 days, 1 week left on that. Second, last week, the council member, along with Emily from Senator Kavanaugh's office and Assemblymember Glick, we met with the mayor and Friends of City Hall Park regarding opening up parts of City Hall Park and providing additional resources and funding and repairs to the park. Since that meeting, the mayor already opened up a section of the green space in the park that was closed off. They've repaired a number of the street lamps, and we're hoping to continue the repairs and open up additional green space in the park and kind of make it a bigger community space again, make it, a place, kind of a real community park again. Regarding Fulton Stall Market, we're still discussing with EDC and Howard Hughes on the layout of the new space, so we'll hopefully have more of an update soon on that. And then PS 150, as I'm sure many of you know, we were able to get the traffic enforcement agent there, which is great. We're working on, I think, trying to make some changes in terms of the street layout and the crossing. And then also, we're working on getting planters to kind of block off the street. I know DOT said they're going to do it, and I know last we spoke with them, they're figuring out their funding and allocating. I know our office is also hoping to try and provide planters. I know last I spoke with our budget director the other week. We're also still working on figuring out the funding and allocating and working on that. But I'll follow up with everyone tomorrow now that this meeting is reminding me to get some more recent updates on what's going on with those. In terms of legislation, we have introduced a resolution to make the Lunar New Year a school holiday, so students will get off for that. We've introduced a bill that would require developers to, when they are proposing a development project, they would have to disclose how many affordable housing units and at what % AMI when they are submitting their application. As the way it currently is, they can just say they're going to build affordable housing, but we don't know how much they're going to build. This way, there's some actual accountability, and we can make sure they're building that much. We've also introduced a bill that would provide or require anti-discrimination trainings for senior service providers. And tomorrow, we're going to be introducing a resolution for the City Council to support Senator Kavanaugh and Assemblymember New's Battery Park City bills and urging the governor to sign those. So hopefully if that passes, the City Council will then, kind of push that along. And then just really quickly, I'm not sure if he's still here, the attendee list, but Henry Lynn, who has joined our office recently as our urban planning liaison, who will be working on a number of issues, especially kind of resiliency issues. So you'll be seeing him around, especially against Battery Park City waterfront resiliency meetings. So yeah, just kind of, he's great. He's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm for the work we're doing. So yeah, just, Henry's a great addition to the team. And if you see him, say hi. And with that, I'll take questions.
Thank you so much. And actually, Max, I do not. Oh, Alice Blank has her hand up. Alice?
I love that blank, Tammy, in case I got mistaken. Could you just tell me, Max, again, the name of the person and the position they're fulfilling on the resiliency front with you? I couldn't quite make that out. Hello? I can
Sorry
follow
about that. Sorry about that. I accidentally muted myself. Yeah, so his name is Henry Lynn, and he's our urban planning liaison. So I can do introduction emails after. I'm not sure. I can't see the attendee list. So I don't know if he's in or not. But yeah, so his role, I think, we're kind of doing, just kind of anything regarding resiliency, urban planning issues. So yeah, whatever there's things you have questions about, he'll, he just joined, so we're still finding his footing. But yeah, he'll be in meetings. He's still kind of getting to know everything.
It'll be great to meet him. Thanks a lot.
I'm not sure if that's who has their hand up. That's the only thing. It's identifiable only by a cell phone number. So if you are dial-in user 347493, please chat to the host so we know who you are.
you know, Tammy, I guess by definition, all of our members are signed on with their cameras on. So, as is the business session, I don't think we have to worry about that person on the phone.
No, I didn't know if it was the person that Max was trying to introduce.
Oh. It might be. I think.
Mort
Yeah,
Minsley?
I think Henry is commuting, so he might be unavailable.
Yes, I want to thank Max and the council member for all the great work they've done on PS 150 and the controlling or helping control the traffic environment at the pickup and drop off. Since they got involved, we got a traffic enforcement agent in front of the school, which really helps in controlling, especially the large buses which come speeding up Trinity Place. So things have been greatly improved, and I'm sure they'll improve even more in the future. And I think it's mainly because of the intervention of the council member and his assistant Max. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can honestly say I don't think that would have gotten done if it wasn't for the coordinated efforts of everyone and the highlights. So that's greatly appreciated.
I'm sure everybody else too. I want to thank everybody else too. But
The borough president's office, the agencies, the numerous people who did walkthroughs. My, the motorcycles, if you're hearing it to my windows. Okay, seeing no other hands up, thank you, Max, so much for coming. And with that, we will move on to our district manager's report.
Hello. I'm going to start the presentation back up. I'm going to stay with that. Hello, everyone. I'm Lucian Reynolds. I'm the district manager of Manhattan Community Board 1. It's great to be back at the full board meeting. I was only kind of there. I was joining you last month from out of town. And I was out of town for quite a while. So my updates this month will be fairly thin. I think the fairest report I could give is that Lucy, Tammy, and Onej took the office and made it work in my absence. And they went through and they liaised, they scheduled, they put agendas together, they did all of these things so that I could spend time with family that I haven't seen for years, haven't seen my children. So it was a gift, and I want to thank all of you for just the incredible lift that was, and how much extra effort and time, and I do appreciate it very, very much. Last week, I pulled together a meeting with the principal of PS 150, the Department of Design and Construction, NYPD's First Precinct, and DOT about how engineering changes can be made to enhance the safety of the students, parents, and teachers over at PS 150. We identified the engineers and the group identified a few improvements that CB1 will send in a letter this week to officially request that they update the scope of the upcoming Trinity Place reconstruction project. A huge thank you, of course, to CMRT's office and our borough president for being our partners and looking for safety solutions wherever we can find them. Another important part of this meeting was that we helped the principal kind of wrap his head around what sorts of construction would happen on Trinity Place, and we were able to ask DDC to be very intelligent about how they schedule the work, aka making sure that work happens in front of the school when school is not in session. So among other things, we'll try to take great pains to minimize quality of life issues, as is our function, one of our main functions of this board. But it's good to have a team of people all working together, and so we count on our partners and friends. So thank you all. The Trust for Governor's Island, in partnership with Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, Senator Brian Cavanaugh, New York City Council Member Christopher Marte, and Manhattan Community Board 1, Congressman Jerry Nadler, invite you all to join an upcoming community briefing on responses submitted to the city's request for proposals seeking an education and research institution to anchor the Center for Climate Solutions on Governor's Island. So this is a big notice, everyone. There's going to be a presentation, a In April, the trust released a request for proposals inviting finalists, academic research institutions to share their vision for anchoring the Center for Climate Solutions. On Wednesday, October 26th, that's tomorrow, from 6 to 9 p.m., they will be sharing that. I will send around another email to all of our board members with specific details of that, and I will also drop them in the chat so everyone will have that information. So please be on the lookout in the chat and in your emails. Thank you. That concludes my report, Tammy.
Thank you so much. Mariama, as people have noted from attendance, is not with us, but we do have the treasurer's report. So let's pop that up. Lucy, do you want to go over that? As I've just tossed Lucy under the bus without asking her.
I can't even see the screen even though I put it up, but I can. First quarter, as you can see, hold on a second, I'm sorry, I'm looking at it on my phone. The telephone was paid for the year. General supplies, $77, that was for coffee. Excuse me, that was for pens, and food was for coffee, $172. And then let me stretch this, and again, I apologize, I'm looking on my phone. Leasing was for the water cooler. $2,400 for the maintenance is for the copier. And personal services, obvious, it's for payroll. Moving on, fundraise, street fair money, $500 is to start the bank account. $950 was a donation for the 9/11. And that was it that we paid, and that's your report.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Any
Lucy's
questions,
sorry,
reach out to Marian.
Yeah. All righty. I see no hands up, so let's keep moving. If you have questions, definitely send them on to Mariama. She can answer them up upon her return. Just make sure you copy the office, please. Richard Corman, you have your hand up.
I do. I have a question. So there's a lot of money unspent. What happens with that?
Not necessarily unspent. It will be spent before the end of the year. It's on par. And if you'd like specific line by line, please feel free to email that to the office, and Mariama will answer you for anticipatory costs through the end of the year.
Richard, we're down one staff member, so there's going to be some additional money in personnel services that we're hoping to fill with a staff member. But anything that we don't spend in personnel services will roll over to OTPS, which is other than personnel services, and we'll pay out anything that would normally be paid out of our street fair account with that extra money. So paying for consultant services, for example, we'll pay with the OTPS so we can protect our street fair account. So that's what we're planning on using the extra budget money for. But our main plan is to hire up so we don't have a big budget surplus.
Thanks.
Thanks, Lucian. That certainly definitely helps. Alrighty, let's, any other questions on the treasurer report? Fantastic. All right, let's keep going. Next slide, please. So between the holidays and everything else, it was a slightly busy month. We were on the Denmark, many of us from the CB, beautiful, beautiful boat for UN Climate Week that came over and had a fantastic tour. And it was lovely to see historic ships in the seaport. You can tell it is parked on the side of Pier 17. And even they noted that it was a bit of a challenge, but with the renovations and things like that, they were able to dock there. Of course, we Community Board 1 are long on record hoping for creation of additional berthing for historic ships on the historic seaport. We have the Downtown Alliance Board meeting. The Tin Building opened and ribbon cutting on September 28th. We're talking with BMCC on their interns for the community board. And you can kind of keep going down the way that goes. We did a hard hat tour with some of the people from Trinity Church and Susan Cole and some other board members. There will be another one coming up soon. So if you would like to go see that, please let Lucian and the office know. We had borough board this week, and there seems to be a lot of conversation back and forth on some similarities on crime statistics and health statistics and other things like that as we look forward for resiliency and things like that. And then the Battery Conservancy Luncheon was yesterday, and it was beautiful. I encourage everyone before all the construction projects start to please go walk around the Battery, enjoy the wharf before the resiliency projects start. Next slide. This is what we're talking about. This is the Center for Climate Solutions that's on Governor's Island. We've sent out a notification on this today. The first in-person event is tomorrow, and then there is one in November. There was one as well today. If you haven't signed up, please sign up. There's also a sign up on the Trust for Governor's Island about their real estate list if you'd like to be on an email list about the real estate happenings and development for the island. Next slide. Okay. So it's been an interesting month. I'll kind of do a mishmash on this. The Educational Alliance is notified us that they're going to come in November to talk to us about what they've been doing in preparation for 5 World Trade Center. So they should come. I'm uncertain as of yet which meeting, but please keep that in your mind. We've had a lot of discussion this month about retail tobacco licenses. Justine Kucha is going to head up working with the office and anybody else who would like to help, and mapping of the stores that we have in each area, and then comparing it back to which ones we know are licensed and legal. It seems to be the best way because they are popping up everywhere. It's not only in Battery Park City by the school. There's ones on Washington Street, very close to the high schools that are illegal. Moreover, on Fulton Street, they seem to be proliferating all over, and that seems to be an issue. So that is something that Justine was volunteered to take on, which we are grateful. BPCA has a survey for Pataki Way on what you would like to see there. Lucian will drop a link for the Survey Monkey straight in there into the chat. So please take a look at that and fill it in. As of last count, I think there were 89 RSVPs. We'd love to see those numbers, be hundreds and hundreds of what you could imagine for that space. I have also good news. The NAC meeting is coming up soon. I apologize. That says 9/27. It's 10/27. And for the first time, it will be live streamed on YouTube. This is a great change, at least for some level of transparency. So we are very grateful for the mayor's office and our council member for helping push that through. Our first precinct community council meeting in October was rescheduled to November 2nd in light of the BBJ NAC meeting. So everyone could participate who needs to and wants to. November's Community Board 1 meetings will all be virtual per the Borough President's guidance through November 21st, which is the night of EPC. I do not know, nor can I comment as to whether or not we will have meetings virtually afterwards. Please stay tuned to your emails to take a look. All right. Leadership training series, as Andrew spoke about, and then the Northwest Battery Park City Resiliency Project has a public scoping meeting in November from 5 to 8. And it's on there. It will also get distributed. So November is a busy month. As we have seen in past years, things like public scoping meetings seem to all get bundled into the last quarter. And with that, I will close my chairperson report. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask now. Justine, you're first.
Sorry to be a pest. So question for you about the, oh God, I'm looking here to see the first precinct community council meeting.
Yeah.
I got an email from them saying it was Tuesday, November 1st, not November 2nd.
That could very well be. That could be an error on my part. I'm happy to take a look and confirm on that.
Yeah, no, just throwing that out there. So,
It's Tuesday,
sorry.
November 2nd, and we're trying,
What's on the,
I'm sorry, Wednesday, November 2nd.
and what's on the first then?
I don't have anything
CompStat,
for the first.
community forum, that's not the same thing?
No, no, the
Okay,
meeting, and
thank
we're
you.
trying to get the meeting to be hybrid, by the way.
Yeah, that I know. Okay, so it's definitely the second for the community council. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Tammy.
Alrighty. Any other hands up? I don't see any other hands up, so I'm going to move on to the business session. I will ask if the office team can chat to the person in the attendees section and see if that's our newest board member, because then we will need to move her over if she's on a phone. Alrighty. Okay, and with that noting, Patrick Cannell, you're first up today.
Thank you, Tammy. Hi, everybody. No resolutions, thankfully, this month out of land use. First, we had our quarterly update from our friends at the Downtown Alliance. We got an update on economic issues and on operational issues. On the economic side, we learned that while commercial office vacancies are in the low 20% range, things have slightly improved since the last quarter, though Lower Manhattan's recovery remains a lot slower, evidently, than other major central business districts in the city. The residential market is strong, however. They listed 5 new residential conversions that have been announced, including 55 Broad, 160 Water, for example. And they noted that there are 4,925 new units in the pipeline. That includes units that are under construction and projects that have been previously announced. The Alliance continues its programs for small businesses, particularly to try to help them recover, including their latest effort to help small businesses in our area raise their social media game, if you will. The program is called Get Social. And you can check out how to apply at downtowny.com. On the operational side, Taina Prado gave us an update on a new program that's going to be rolled out called the Clean Curbs program. That's going to have large containerized bins for containerizing the trash. It's not residential trash. It's not commercial trash. This is containerizing the trash that you see in the wire baskets with the Downtown Alliance plastic bags on them. I didn't quickly enough write down the exact 4 locations where they're going to be, but one was on West Street, one was on Water Street, and a couple of others throughout the catchment area of the Downtown Alliance. And I'm sure you can find that information on their website. All right. Secondly, we got an update on the Fulton Stall Market. So this is in follow-up to our September resolution asking that EDC come and attend the LZE meeting and to give us an update from its point of view. I'm happy to note that Howard Hughes representatives also attended, came and presented. The EDC reps went over the history of the South Street Seaport redevelopment and specifically the food market concepts. Then HHC made a point of showing how, with time, space, and direct money, Howard Hughes has supported the Fulton Stall Market for greater than 5 years, including they showed us with over $700,000 in direct subsidies. The Howard Hughes reps were certain to indicate they certainly want the Fulton Stall Market to continue and be successful, particularly given all the money that they've invested to date. But they said, look, we've got to be realistic of what the Fulton Stall Market is capable of doing on its own. So to that end, the EDC representatives noted that they've offered in the middle of September, they offered Fulton Stall Market 6,300 square feet over 2 floors at the Translugs building. That'd be ground floor and mezzanine, and that the EDC would forego $1.8 million in rent over, I think they said it was about 10 years. But according to the EDC financial modeling, the build out for that would cost in excess of $8 million. Now, even if the city could find that money in its budget at a time when agencies are being asked to make cuts of their own, There are a number of procurement and capital granting rules that make getting that amount of money to the Fulton Stall market, because they don't have a demonstrated history of receiving and stewarding significant city funding, which is a prerequisite to a large grant like that. It would make it all but impossible before fiscal year 27 at the earliest. So that means that the 8 million plus that Fulton Stall Market would need to do its build out would have to come from private funds, which it does not appear the Fulton Stall Market has or has the ability at this point to raise. So the EDC is now asking, and this is according to their update, they're asking the Fulton Stall Market to reconsider the original offer of 3,500 square feet of space at the Translux building for now, and we will continue to follow up on that issue, but that was the update. Any questions? Bob.
I just wanted to say one thing, and that is that it turns out that what Gigi said about them not qualifying for the funding isn't right. And I asked Robert Lewis to send the evidence to Lucian, but he didn't do that yet. But it is true that they qualify for the funding. And so I think that's an important
Yeah, I mean,
they should have made known at the meeting, and I asked them to do that, but they didn't speak up. So here we are. So
yeah, that is an important and critical factor to them getting capital funding, because it sounds like at this point the only source of capital funding to do their build out is going to have to come from the city. So obviously we're getting two different stories, and we really need to get that sorted out. So if they're able to send that along, that would be helpful.
thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Any other questions?
Patrick, I see no other hands up.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
With no other questions, thank you, Patrick. Have a lovely night. Let's move on to, me. It's the executive committee. There's a resolution that we've put forward, two of them, budget and capital expense items. We're going to do the merit increase first. So we're going to do votes by affirmation. Again, we're going to call for yays, noes, abstentions, recusals. When we do so, if you are doing anything other than a yes, I need you to call your last name out first, and then it would be like Meltzer abstains. Okay? So with the first one on the merit increase, can I call the question? Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any noes? Are there any abstentions? Hearing no noes and no abstentions, are there any recusals? Got it. Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Tammy, I need those
Madam
that came in
Chair.
after the roll call to please respond. Darren?
Yes. Hi. Charkoudian votes yes. I just missed the prior call.
Thank you very much for coming back in. Anybody who is not here for the first call, thank you for reminding me, Lucy. Please.
Z, yes too.
Thank you, Z. You are recorded for yes. Charkoudian, thank you. Anyone else?
Would you like me to call the names or yeah or no?
Tammy Gupta, I missed the first vote. Came in late.
Okay, that's Gupta, yes. Thank you.
McHugh, yes.
Thank you. Anyone else miss the first vote?
Yes.
Who just said yes?
Desi.
So, Desi, what you would say is Robinson votes yes.
Robinson votes yes.
Thank you and welcome. And I'm incredibly jealous of those stars around your name. I'm coming after you to tell me how you did it.
I'll give a tutorial later.
Oh, good. All righty. Lucy, is there anyone else who has been absent?
Chow.
Pardon?
Chow. Chow, how do you vote?
Yes.
He did. He voted before.
I apologize.
Z, that's okay.
Annie's the new board member here. We're not sure if that's her, and I don't
That's
want to mark.
definitely not her. That's, well,
Okay,
that's not
thank
the phone
you.
number she gave us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't see anybody else. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's do capital and expense budget items for 2024. Pursuant to the comments in the public hearing, we will add the new items as a friendly amendment and the ones that we mistakenly forgot, which include the independent consultant for the BBJ, the inland use of the adaptive studies for MDC, DCWP funding for the investigative unit for additional personnel. I also wanted to add, Lucian, are we adding the part about the lighting for West Thames?
Yes, I have the note of that. Yes, but thank you for putting that out.
Does anybody else have anything else that we have either missed or forgotten? Mr. Galloway?
Just to clarify, to make sure that the FIDI Seaport Master Plan funding.
That has
Thank
been
you.
noted. Thank you.
Good catch. Thank you very much. Eric, you?
Yes, Lucian, were you able to find any update about whether periodic cleaning of the area underneath the FDR can be done through a request versus being part of the expense budget?
Eric, the executive committee voted to include that as a request to the Department of Sanitation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other hands for any other friendly amendments, I'm gonna call I did say independent consultants. I think I did, yes, Alice.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Seeing no other hands, I'm gonna call the question. Can I get a second?
Second, sorry.
Okay. Alrighty, again, we'll do the vote the same way we did before. If there is somebody who has walked through the door who wasn't here for any of the last votes, you must say your last name to be marked present, okay? Alrighty. So, assuming everyone's a yay, do I hear any no's? Hearing no no's, do I hear any abstentions? Hearing no abstentions, do I hear any recusals?
Tammy, I recuse.
Thank you. Mr. Townley recuses. Thank you, Bob. I assume that's why your hand was up.
Yep, thank you.
Awesome. Alrighty. With that, motion passes. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's move on to personnel. Elizabeth?
I'm just getting, okay, I'm muting myself. Okay, so we had a personnel committee meeting last night. It was pretty short, so not a lot to report. This actually goes to the question that, who asked this question? Was it about our budget, about money being left over in our budget? I feel like it was, I don't remember what it was, but anyway, Tammy. Richard, yes. Okay. So, so we spoke yesterday about two different things. I guess the first item is the BMCC paid internship. We are working with BMCC to create an internship program. It would be a year-long program, a part-time position. And they are actually working on some of the details, the description of the internship itself, and they're going to work with us to sort of get one candidate, and it would be a December to January position, hopefully. Like I said, we're going to be paid. We're going to be paying for that. So either the money will come out of the excess budget or it'll come out of the street fair money. And that's the first thing we started talking about. And then the other thing, so that's sort of ongoing. We're working with BMCC. Hopefully we'll be able to get somebody by December. So that's great news. And then the second thing is the community associate position, which we sort of alluded to last month. We sort of talked about this, that we were going to be posting for this position The actual position was posted, went up today. And hopefully we can actually start interviewing people come November. And I'll have more of an update for you at the November meeting. And that's pretty much it. Short meeting.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And let's move on to the next committee. Susan Cole's not here, so I'm going to assume that Francis is going to get the report.
Can you hear me? It's Desi.
Oh, hi, Desi. Have
Hi.
you figured out how to raise your hand yet?
I did. And I just didn't do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I see there it is. Wait. Okay.
Hi,
I
do
just
you have a
wanted to
question
get
for personnel?
yes, I just wanted to get clarity on the internship. You said it was possibly from December to what
From
date?
January, it's from January. It starts for their spring, goes through summer and fall.
Oh, it's like January to June.
December.
January to December. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Francis, you're going to do licenses?
I am. So this is a very unusual situation in that we only have one resolution to present today, but this is the setup for the kill for next month. We have a heavy agenda for next month. So I'm asking committee members and also you guys, next month's board meeting is going to be interesting with the amount of applications we'll probably have. But for this one, it's fairly simple. It's just a basic change. They had a summer permit and now they want to change it to a winter one, and everything was in order. So just ask for your support in terms of approving this 1550 Wheeler Avenue. That's motion.
I'm looking for hands for you, Francis.
Oh, wait.
Desi's got a hand up, so Desi, you're first. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm getting it right. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to put my hand up. Sorry.
Believe me, it takes a while to get used to it. I'm totally no worries. With that, I see no other hands up. So, Francis, you want me to call for a vote?
Please.
I'm calling to question. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
All right. Mimi, you ready? So we're going to say everybody's a yay. Are there any no's? Are there any, hearing no no's, are there any abstentions? Hearing no abstentions, are there any recusals? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Ms. Francis. Environmental
Thank you. Next month is going to be a real heavy one.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you to please be prepared. Put your turkeys in early.
Okay, hi all. So we had a very comprehensive presentation by Jordan Salinger and a huge team on the Lower Manhattan Coastal Resiliency quarterly update. I was really pleased to see them responding directly to the letter that the community board put out earlier in the week, urging for a holistic understanding of the city's resiliency plans, including those recently released by the U.S. Army Corps, and highlighting principles and data that underline the plans. So the presentation covered project updates on the Battery Park City Authority plans, the battery plans, the Seaport Coastal Resiliency plans, the FIDI Seaport Master Plan, the Brooklyn Bridge Montgomery Coastal Resiliency plans, the interim flood protection measures, and the HAT study. I think it was about an hour and a half presentation. I would recommend highly that anyone who's interested to, of course, watch the YouTube on this. There was nothing specifically new, but a few items of note that were very, very helpful, I think, to a lot of people who attended. I think we have slides for this part, but One was that all the Lower Manhattan coastal resilience plans are based on the same underlying principles. And a representative from Arcadis, who was working with the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice, outlined the three principles. You know, the design storm event, 100-year storm, as noted in the FEMA flood insurance studies, is what's used. For sea level rise, looking at the highest estimates in the 90th percentile based on the New York City Panel on Climate Change projections for 2050. And then wave run up, which is a little less easy to identify, less clear than others in terms of the actual heights that are being addressed there. So that was the principles distilled. Next slide. And then from that, we looked at a kind of description finally of what is a design flood elevation. You often hear of this, the DFEs. So without going into a great deal, if you can just read the slide, but basically to calculate DFE, you use these underlying principles to determine this. And that was helpful. Slide 3 would show different geographies and implementations that produce the design variation. So you can see where at the harbor, you've got storm surges higher when you're closer in the harbor versus the rivers. And so on land conditions change, wave attenuation changes, and sort of reviewing a little bit of that in a very, very schematic way. But I thought it was very good kind of to start to begin to address a little bit of the geography and science behind it. And last, or I'm not sure last, but fourth, I guess. So again, I think you see this slide very often where the current projects are identified and what they are covering. That has not changed at all, except for one area, which is the interim flood protection measures. We've asked Susan Rosen from the Office of Emergency Management to actually return, because it was very, very brief presentation where she stated that, in fact, none of the interim measures that were promised for the west side of Lower Manhattan can be done. And we really would like to have a further review of that. So that'll happen hopefully at the next meeting. And lastly, we looked at the Army Corps plans again, this one plan, I should say. And it was really great that at least the mayor's office is now talking about the plan and recognizing that this is part of the package. And we look forward to, of course, having the Army Corps presentation. So that was sort of it in a nutshell. Going forward, we are going to be looking at the FIDI Seaport plans, hopefully also with waterfront and parks, to look and have community input on what they'd like to see. And we've asked very clearly for the designers of these plans to be on hand. And in fact, they are well designed. There are designs in place by One Architecture and Scape, who we should be in the room to review the specifics. And we're hoping this will happen in December. And we also asked, and Jordan Salinger had promised, that we would be looking specifically at a meeting with all the concerns addressed on the west side of Manhattan. So this is something that would include the Army Corps, the state DOT, and of course all the city agencies. So keep you posted on that. We concluded our evening with a robust discussion on resiliency guidelines. We had talked about having guidelines for this community board now and in the future when we're all gone, where people can look at this and say, well, what are we designing towards? And who knew, but there are such guidelines. None of us had seen these before, that were done, in fact, last year, that Jordan Salinger shared with us, and which we looked at very carefully. And there are 16 guidelines. I think there's a slide you can see that goes through each and every one. And each one is really interesting. I would highly recommend reading this. I'm going to have Lucian later send around the link to this series of guidelines. It's a short read and it's actually very helpful. And what we're doing as a committee is using those to try to highlight what actually are our concerns in Lower Manhattan that are pretty much in sync with these, but are there specifics that we want to add? And then having some sort of a book, if you will, or I guess guideline that now and in the future people can use. Lastly, I want to just mention very important meetings that are coming up. So the Army Corps you heard about, on Thursday, October 27th this week, and Saturday, November 5th. This will be sent around to everybody, but these are two of only three meetings left. The last one was last night, to look at the public presentation on what these plans are and have a question and answer. In fact, there are many groups, including the NRDC, that are pushing that we have another year to review these plans. And that's something that we can look at on the board if we want to support that initiative. In any case, please try to go to those meetings, particularly people interested and on our committee. Also of announcement, I'm sure many of you read in the New York Times on Friday an article about Wagner Park and the fact that there is an alternative being presented by the original landscape architects who designed the park on October 27th at 8:30. And I think this comes under the heading SaveWagnerPark.com for details about that. Third, as has been noted, the Center for Climate Solutions on Governor's Island, please try to go to that. And lastly, the Northwest Battery Park City Public Scoping Meeting, which I think Tammy had mentioned, on November 16th. And last but not least, do not forget to vote next week on the Environmental Bond Act, which is the largest bond act in the state's history, which authorizes $4.2 billion to fund critical environmental restoration projects in the state. That's it. Thanks.
Actually, Alice, you forgot November's Northwest Battery Park City.
No, I didn't. I said it.
Did you? I must have missed that one.
Probably.
Alrighty, let's see if Wendy has a hand up. Wendy,
Go ahead, Wendy. Sorry. Yeah. You're doing
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Anyway, thanks, Alice. That's great. I wanted to just stress again that one of the things that was presented is that the funding of all of this is incredibly difficult. And the timing of the funding has, there are many short, we need to act sooner rather than later. Jordan brought that up more than once. And we as a community board need to be very clear that it's been 10 years since Sandy. So I just want to say again that, timing and urgency and making sure that we get funding, especially given, I brought this up at the meeting, Florida's hurricane and many other things that are happening on a federal level are all going to be competing with our projects in the future. I know they seem like they come out of different buckets, but the politics on this matter. So I wanted to just say that. And also the HAT study, they wouldn't even start that project for a couple of years in terms of the planning. So timing is one of the other frustrations. And also the interim flood protection that Alice said is coming back was very disappointing to hear. Thank you.
Just a point on the Army Corps project, that actually doesn't start until, I think we were told, 2030. And it will take an estimated 14 years. So you're looking at those plans being enacted in 2044. That is quite a lengthy wait. Okay.
Justine is next.
So thank you. So yeah, sorry, I'll be quick with it. But so Alice, 2024. So in the picture that you showed.
Sorry, 2044. Yeah.
2044. I'm sorry. In the picture that you showed that kind of protects all of Lower Manhattan, we're not talking about anything being finished until 2044. Is that correct?
Sorry, the Army Corps plans. I don't know if you can go back to that slide. That's specifically on the west side, north of Battery Park City, the area that's always grayed out on every one of these plans I've seen for the last 6 years that says Army Corps. That area and everywhere else in the state that the Army Corps is looking at, all of the storm surge barriers that are being presented. That's what was told to us by the mayor's office as beginning approximately 2030 and would take approximately 14 years. These numbers, of course, are pretty estimates. Does that?
And the city is way ahead of the feds.
Yeah, the city is way ahead. New York City itself is way ahead.
Right. Other questions? Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Justine, any other questions?
So many, but I'm not going to go. Thank you.
Jeff Galloway.
I urge people to attend one of those HATS meetings. I attended the one yesterday virtually, and it clarified some interesting information. the Lower Manhattan segment that was on that diagram that Alice showed would basically be if we don't do our own resiliency plans. They show it there because they don't include in their as-built projections anything that's not either under construction or permitted, although they will revise things as of January if construction starts on something by January. But the other thing that's notable is that their plan for Lower Manhattan essentially consists of a pretty monstrous seawall, 24 feet high, well, about 12 feet high from a current ground level. Their design flood elevation is actually higher than the ones that the city and Battery Park City Authority are using. So we should be thankful if they do not do theirs and we do ours, unless you want to be staring at a 10-foot wall along the waterfront. At least in Battery Park City, it's characterized as an elevated promenade that would be about 10 feet higher than the current one, but it would form a seawall along the coast. On the east side, it would literally be a seawall about 10 or 12 feet high. So we should be thankful for what our city and the Battery Park City Authority is planning, because it's a lot better than the Army Corps plan. And in fairness to them, they haven't really done their designs for the plan, but schematically it's shown as effectively a seawall all up the west side.
Thanks, Jeff.
Anybody else have any questions?
And thanks, Jeff, for the New York Times comments.
I highly urge people to be involved with all the meetings Alice is talking about. If you care about anything that's happening on Governor's Island development-wise and climate change-wise, absolutely go to those. If you have any thoughts about anything for our shoreline, attend the meetings. The EPC team spends hours and hours, days and weeks, I kind of want to say, to make sure that we share as much information as we can. And you just got to go to the meetings, as they say. So thank you. And let's move to the next committee. And if anybody needs the links, obviously Alice has all of them, and so does the office. And we're happy to share anything, just email and ask. All right, that moves us to Alice, you're good?
Yeah, thanks very much, everybody. Yep.
Quality of life.
Yep. So there's a crossing guard shortage in our community. We have no resolutions, by the way, not until new business. But there's a shortage of crossing guards in our community, especially at PS 276 and PS 150. Officer Ford and Sergeant Cordell came to our meeting. We had long discussions about their outreach to try. It's a paid position, by the way. Lucian has a flyer that I believe Officer Ford sent to him describing the job. If there's anyone that you know, if any of you are interested in training and becoming a crossing guard, they are looking for people, and they're doing as much outreach as they can. They're going to the PTA meetings. They're going wherever they can. They're talking to seniors. They're doing whatever they can to try to find people to fill this need. So again, reach out to Lucian if you're interested. We also talked to the police about the increase in crimes in our community. Many of you have seen on the on the news what's going on. You've seen incidents that have happened on the subway. The police come every month or every other month to Quality of Life Committee if you would like to discuss any of these issues with them, if you want to report something. One of the problems that we're having, not just in our community, but evidently all over the city, is that people are not reporting any kind of incidents that they're having. And we really need people to report. If you don't report, it leaves the criminal free to go and, commit a crime against someone else. It doesn't have a record of the crime. It doesn't have a report of what the person looks like. So we're urging everyone to make a report if there is indeed an issue. The second discussion was about public restrooms on Pier 17. Betty Kay and I had gone around a couple of months ago, and we went at an event was taking place at Pier 17. We tried to get to a bathroom. We were told without a ticket to attend the event that we were not allowed to go to the bathroom. The only other public bathroom is under the highway, and that is under the auspices of the parks. And that bathroom, evidently Howard Hughes supplies toilet paper to that bathroom, but that bathroom closes at 6 or 6:30, and so there isn't a public bathroom available on Pier 17 unless there isn't an event taking place at Pier 17, and then it seems that you're allowed to go. But we're going to ask Howard Hughes to come so that we can have a conversation with them about their bathrooms that are located, I believe, right below the roof. So I think it's the 4th floor, but we're going to ask them to come so we can discuss when those bathrooms are available to the public. The last conversation we started to have, we are going to continue it. It's been put off into November, but it's about all of the vendors on the Brooklyn Bridge. And so the Brooklyn Bridge is under the precinct that is in Brooklyn, precinct number 84. So we're asking their representative to come to speak to us, and on our side, it's precinct number 5. So we're asking a representative from precinct 5 to come because it seems that there's been an increase of illegal vendors on the Brooklyn Bridge selling everything, pocketbooks, whatever they're selling. And also, Betty said to us that when she tried to get onto the bridge, access the bridge from our side, there were vendors that were totally taking up all the space, so it was almost impossible to get onto the bridge. So we are going to see if we can get someone to come from each of the precincts next month to have a conversation with us and see what we can do. That's it. I'll be back during new business unless there are any questions.
Pat?
Vicki Cameron does have her hand up, followed by Bob Townley.
Okay, so Pat, I went to the 84th precinct police meeting last week, and the Brooklyn Bridge came up, and there are plans for it. So I will call you and let you know what we were told.
Please.
And they're aware, and there are plans being made. So I'll ring you up, but just to let you know, 84th precinct. What?
Are they planning to do a sweep and confiscate all the merchandise? Good. Good. All right. Please give me a call. Thanks, Vicki.
Okay.
Who else was asking? Bob?
I couldn't get across the bridge this Saturday morning, just like Betty. I was there at 11 o'clock. It was just, I couldn't get across. I don't want to see the vendors get their stuff confiscated, but when they try to set up in the morning, another approach might be a more gentle approach. When they try to set up in the morning, the police should be there and just tell them they can't be
It's
there.
illegal for them to be there, Bob, and they know it's illegal to be there, and they get their wares confiscated. That's the risk that they're taking.
I understand that's not the way I would deal with it, but I would just get there so that before they set up, so you're not setting up a scene of, these poor people having their stuff.
Hopefully we can get a representative.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hopefully we can get a representative from each precinct to come next month so we can have a discussion about it. Any other questions? Okay, that's it. Thanks.
I don't see any, so thanks a lot, Pat. I really appreciate it. Moving on, Paul Goldstein for Waterfront Parks and Cultural.
Okay, thank you. As you see, we have 3 items to go through. Item 1 does involve a resolution. We had a presentation by the Seaport Coalition, which is sponsoring a proposal to build a community center at the site of the new market building. This is a proposal that's been around for years. This community board has supported it in the past. As the resolution states, all the way back in 2002, Community Board 1, working with the Downtown Alliance, put out a study called the Downtown East River Waterfront Concept Plan. And one of the recommendations was exactly this, to build a community center on that site to serve the community. As indicated in the resolution, the neighborhood is poorly served by facilities to serve the growing residential population. So this kind of center would create gymnasium space, indoor play spaces, meeting spaces. It would have a landscape roof, and it would have additional public duck spaces. So the resolution and the proposal also discusses how to fund it through possibly public-private funding sources, and talks about working with the public to seek additional public input. And in fact, there were several members of the committee who recommended that the community board form a task force to do work on this to try to advance this project. So bottom line was it was unanimously approved by the community board. And unless there are questions, I would put it to a vote.
Let's see if there are hands up. I'd see Alice Blank's hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I thought that I thought we were seeing it before it went out, but two, I thought it wasn't for a specific center, but rather highlighting use. Maybe I got that wrong. Not that I just was curious about that.
Lucian did circulate the draft.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay.
That's okay. We can put it up if that's
It's fine. I have it. No, I'm reading it now. I didn't know we got it before. That's fine. I thought that we were also not looking at a particular center. But I guess if you're going to be that specific where you're talking about double height ceilinged indoor play spaces, you might want to then be equally specific as to underline this community's longstanding objection to anything that's higher than its, a certain number of stories. You may want to say a small scale or some other way to describe, that you don't want to have a 20-story community center there that, somehow gets, if it's specific enough that you might want to just reiterate the need for a small scale.
Perhaps put in language contextually sized community center for the historic district.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I'm actually going to make a comment as well. I know the work, I saw the presentation, and the Seaport Coalition was reporting out, but I do want to note that Community Board 1 did a lot of work about the New Market site. We did resolutions. This was something that was well fought for by the Community Board. So I think it's not only the Seaport Coalition that is proposing. We do have lots of language on what CB1 has asked for and supported over the years. So I'd like to modify this to be more inclusive of the broader community, even outside the Seaport Coalition. So yes, we applaud them for bringing forth this proposal, but this is something that we've talked about before. So I'd like to make a friendly amendment to.
Well, there's a whereas that states that it has gotten very positive feedback from local schools and parents, existing sports leagues and youth organizations, and several of them were at the meeting. Bob Townley attended the meeting, Andrew Zelter, of course, was there, and there they represented to a degree, other youth-serving organizations. That great thing for the community and for the east side of the district. And I would also just note that I forgot to mention is that this has also been supported by the community board in our budget recommendations year after year. So it's
which is what I'd like to put in there for a friendly amendment.
What? About the budget?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I accept that.
I see hands up from Richard Corman and Tricia. In that order, please.
Yeah, thanks, Tammy and Paul. So I'm with Alice, and first of all, I'm sorry, I didn't see, I missed somehow Lucian sending a round of this beforehand, so I just saw it tonight. But my recollection of our conversation at the meeting was that we were not going to be that specific about the particular uses of this, but that it was going to be a public space. That was what we were calling for. And so the idea of specifying the ceilings, all of the particulars that are in here, I thought was outside the scope of what we had agreed to at the meeting.
No, that wasn't my recollection. I think we did specifically put in language that said this is a project that is subject to a lot of more discussion and input. But here are some initial recommendations that have been brought forward. I mean, I would note that, what the Seaport Coalition showed was a proposal that was being discussed during the course of the 250 Water Street proposals. Skidmore Owens Merrill put that together. So that wasn't a novel idea, even the proposal that Seaport Coalition was showing. So they were just showing the possibilities that could go there. And I think it's a good idea to enlighten the public and inform them about these possibilities. We're not saying this is the final design, far from it.
Do you think that to accommodate the conversation, it could say including but not limited to?
Sure, okay. Lucian, are you getting some of these amendments? Because I don't know if I've gotten all of them.
Yep, I have this including but not limited to for addition.
Okay, thank you, Tammy.
I would just say, even you might, Paul, just consider on the first whereas, where it's very specific, is proposing a new community recreation center with 3 capital letters. So it's quite specific in just saying that the new Barkett building site be used for community recreational use or something. I just wonder if there's some other way to make it a little less prescriptive. I don't know if that's.
Again, look at our budget recommendations that this board voted on year after year. We call it a community center every year. So it's not a novel idea. That's been our position. And
Yeah,
again, it was our position in 2002. It's been our position throughout.
I just thought there were things we were looking at, particularly in terms, because in those years we didn't know the new coastal resiliency plans and the way this might tie in with Brooklyn Battery, work, Park Bridge work. It just seemed like, is it a center, is it too specific as a built thing? And, might this area actually not necessarily be completely built up? I don't know. It's fine. I'm not gonna, I'm just was suggesting something a little bit more open-ended, but that's fine.
Okay, Tricia, you wanted to comment?
Yes, I just want to say that the East Side has needed a community center forever. I've been on this board over 12 years, and I support this 100%, Paul. I am grateful that you've kept this alive. It is shameful. We have 3 community centers on the West Side, and we have 280% growth in FIDI and in the Seaport. We have a tremendous amount of families there. It's long overdue. I'm 100% in support of the community center idea. It's not that it can be exclusive to any particular use. It should serve the community. Every community center does an assessment of the community around them and what the needs are, and then they, work to gather partners to provide that. So I'm very much in support of this. I'm really happy that you thought of it and created the resolution.
Thank you.
Paul? Paul?
Joe. Yes, Joe, you're up.
Want to thank Tricia. You're a little more diplomatic than I am, but all the people who sort of had additions, corrections, or whatever you want to call it, were from the West Side, which has abundance of all community needs. We on the East Side don't have one library, no community center, no park lands. And so why are nitpicking here when we all should know that the East Side needs everything it can get, because we don't have a community center, we don't have a library, etc. Thank you.
Yeah, I do think it's important that this board be unified in supporting, a project like this that should not be controversial, in my opinion.
I just want to, sorry, Paul, I just want to jump in here because it's a little confusing for me. I certainly am a full support of a public use of that space and have been for years. And so that, to be clear, what this resolution is a little unclear on is it's a new market building community center, but you then quickly say it's a community recreation center, and it's defined, doesn't say anything about a library or any other use. It says it's a community center that includes a gymnasium with high ceilings, indoor play spaces and meeting space, and a landscape roof, and a public dock. It doesn't say anything else about other things. So I just want to make sure that it's a recreation center that you're asking for here, not a library or a museum or other things. I just think we need to be clear on it. That's all. It seems a little unclear to me.
Let me respond to Alice. I just threw that in because I always throw it in, because it seems that the West Side doesn't understand what we don't have, because you have an abundance of. And I'll leave it at that. I'm very angry, people.
Hey, boy.
Yeah, I don't think the pitting the East Side and the West Side is particularly
We have
helpful.
none.
I
You
think
have community centers, you have Stuyvesant, you have everything under the sun.
Joe, hold on a second. That's exactly what we're trying to do, is
Yeah,
make sure that all the opportunities can get to the East Side and not
Excuse me.
narrowing it.
But all these other people who have, other than Tricia, live on the West Side are nitpicking this to death. Let's just go with the resolution and stop nitpicking.
All right.
Bob,
I
you're
think I
next.
saw Bob
All
tapping.
right, let me just say, am I talking? Can you hear me? Yes. Let me just say that there is, I've ridden this pony before. There is tremendous need for another recreation center in this neighborhood. It develops, it's needed. And again, to, I think, Richard's point, anybody wants to sit with me and come next to my office, I'm here now. I will do a dotted map of where members of the downtown community center here on Warren Street come from. I think you'd be a little shocked. And I think you will be pleased when we open up this other community center on the east side, that the dots around where people come from will be widespread. People go to where they like, they go to where the services are good, and we need to ensure that these services, the leagues are very much into this, we do not have to worry about where people live, because they will go all over. And there is, and I could work on any needs assessment, there needs to be another recreation. I worked on 5 World Trade unsuccessfully. There needs to be a recreation center in Community Board 1. Thank you.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. All right. I see no. Joe, you've already spoken. Richard, I think you've spoken. Tricia and Alice. I'm going to assume that all of you do not need to have your hands up again.
I'm done.
Is that, okay, that's going down. Tricia's going down. Perfect. Seeing Joe Lerner, your hand is back up. Do you have one more thing to add? You're muted, my love. Unmute yourself.
Build it and they will come.
Thank you so much. All right. With that note.
Sorry, my hand is back up because my name was cited. And,
Richard.
and I feel I need to respond.
Go for it, Richard. You are the
So,
last comment.
So with all due respect to Joe and the people on the east side, there was no one in the meeting, east side, west side, north or south, that did not agree that we needed that this would be a good location and an important advocacy for a community center on the east side and in that building, and that it would be a public space. Everyone was in support of that. But based on the presentation, the single presentation in that meeting, it was not entirely clear or convincing all of the specifics of what the community board and what the committee would want to have in that center. And we thought, at least I thought, the discussion was that it was a little premature to be specific about what was in it, but that it was certain that we all wanted a public space and a public community center there. So that is the only nitpicking, if you will, Joe. It did not include very specifics. We were not building necessarily a gymnasium at that meeting. We were calling for a community center. That's what we want. We support the people on the east side, and I do not appreciate being having it implied that I don't care about what the people on the east side or the other people in this community board or other people in this entire community actually care about and need. So with that, I will now take my hand down.
Richard, before you go, the question is, did you have a friendly amendment for the resolution? Because I think that's where we were trying to go for 100% in what I remember from the meeting as well. Less prescriptive, more general, which is why I suggested and Paul said yes to, including but not limited to. Is there anything else that you want to add, that you want to ask for the resolution?
I mean, I think that honestly, for my language, where you just said includes but not limited to, I would suggest that it is more suggestive that the community center in the Seaport could include things like the gymnasium, a library, play spaces, meeting spaces. And if we have it in that generic of form, then it leaves the community board an opportunity to be clearer about what's needed and what we would fully support in that space. And I think it's a little less prescriptive, but at least it does put out there the way Paul described, it puts out there the possibilities of the things that we would support.
Paul?
I think I have a problem with that suggestion in that this is a proposal put forward not by the community board, but by the Seaport Coalition. So I don't think we can just, on our own change it. We can comment, as Tammy said.
Yes, of course we
that
can, Paul.
Of course we can.
What?
Of course we can. We have done it before. We did it with Finite Neighbors Association as well.
We could make recommendations, but we can't say that the Seaport Coalition proposal should do this and that.
Correct, but we're not talking about the Seaport. The title of this resolution is not about the Seaport Coalition. It's the new market building, new market building site and a community center. So it's not about theirs. I mean, they presented what they thought, and then the community as a community board weighs in. And we absolutely have history of picking apart things we liked and things we didn't. We did it with Make Way for Lower Manhattan. We've done it with the Tribeca Alliance when they came and asked for things. We have absolutely done that. So,
okay, so why don't we leave the whereas that describes what they are proposing, and then under it, and the community board urges that continued discussion take place, and that some of the aspects included in this proposal be included but not limited to, as language like you.
okay. Rosa, I'm fine with that. Rosa has her hand up, but Rosa, I did call that Richard Corman was going to be the last comment. So unless it's under a minute, and if it's something different.
Slightly. Her, but for the Brooklyn Bridge Manhattan project, we are proposing, or we are planning to have a library and a museum dedicated to the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge and community hub as well. And so hopefully these two projects will work in tandem to provide all of the needs for the east side and beyond of what we need in the community, and we are sorely lacking. But I also do not think it hurts at all to double up because it might take a while. So yeah, that was my comment. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Rosa. With that, I'm going to call the question. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Second.
Okay, so we're going to go affirmation and then call for the others. So are there any no's? Hearing no no's, are there any recusals? I mean abstentions, I apologize. Abstentions come first. Anyone abstaining? Hearing no abstentions, are there any recusals? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank
Call your other
you.
item.
Okay, let's move on. Item 2, we could go through quickly. It was the beginning of a discussion of what type of new waterfront parks that this community would like to see created as part of the Lower Manhattan Coastal Resiliency Project. So it was, again, just an initial conversation. Some of the ideas that were mentioned were potential new ball fields and parks in the new landfill that would presumably be created in the East River. 2 was to create a new oversight entity to manage these spaces, an East River Trust, sort of like Hudson River Park Trust, Brooklyn Bridge Park Trust, so that we don't have to rely on EDC to manage a park. And finally, a suggestion was made to come up with a quantitative amount of open space. In other words, the amount of acreage we'd like to see rather than come up with totally specific designs. So this conversation will continue in committee moving forward. And finally, I'll move on to the last item, which was recognition of Indigenous Lenape community. So we had a presentation by Oleana Whispering Dove, keeper of cultural lifeways for the Ramapo Muncie Lenape Heritage Gallery, and her colleague Evan Pritchard, I should say. He's a historian who had a lot of information to share about the involvement of particularly the Lenape Indians and indigenous peoples in this area. Lots of trading posts, lots of activity, not just in Lower Manhattan, but in New Jersey and Brooklyn, in parts around this area. So there was pretty much unanimous support in the committee for recognizing the history of the Ramapo, Muncie, Lenape tribes and their contributions towards creating Manhattan, as they call it, and the surrounding parts of this area extending, as I said, to other adjacent areas. But it was also agreed by the presenters and the committee that more refinement is needed as to exactly what kind of monument or artwork they would like to see. And the site they're looking to put this in is the Titanic Memorial Lighthouse Plaza, which is located at Fulton and Water Streets. So they're they want to come forward with a revised proposal. And when they do, we said we'd be happy to review it and discuss it again in committee. So that is the report on that item.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the work. And we move on then to Betty Kay.
Thank you. We, again, like everyone else, had a short meeting because of doubling up this month, but spent our time because we're running short on the time of getting a street co-naming report done for the council person. So in fact, they spent a lot of time working on, right now we're looking to review and modify the entire process, including the whole application, I mean, everything about it. So there are lots of aspects. Trying to build in some what's been learned both from the census as well from COVID-19 with issues such as right now it mandates that people do petitions. We've learned a lot from limitations of being able to get into buildings, the ability to, the whole thing around petitions. So there's a lot of work still to be done, but hopefully soon it will be. So those who are interested, and I thank Pat Moore for helping the committee out throughout this process. But otherwise, we'll continue it and hopefully have it done by the end of the year.
All righty. Thank you very much, Betty. That is the shortest report I think you've ever had. Okay, youth and education. Trisha Joyce, could you please report on the New Street LMC site visit?
I can. And we had two more things on that agenda, but it was confusing because we lost our speaker on crossing guards. So I do have a report after this. But Mara Fitzgerald, who's from Community Board 2, she has a child at LMC. She has been partnering with us. She actually brought it to us initially. The problem on New Street, we have LMC entering on this tiny street. The tiny street has a very narrow sidewalk, which is, you know, our problem all over Lower Manhattan. And the kids are coming to school right next to oftentimes construction vehicles, all kinds of other unsafe car passages next to this 5-foot sidewalk. So we passed a resolution, as you guys might remember, to close this street during arrival and departure times. And I actually thought it was a done deal until because we escorted this situation all the way through to the NYPD. It was going into, you know, it was just down to who was enforcing it. She got in touch with me and said this isn't happening at all, that the terrorism division of NYPD is pushing back on it. I was really curious about this because I don't understand it. So we discussed it as a group, and I think the larger problem is that there are a lot of back doors that come into this alley, and therefore a lot of the restaurants in the neighborhood and businesses take their deliveries there, and they're not excited about having to have parameters around when they can do that. But it's 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the afternoon. So we are pushing forward on that. You've already done a resolution, so we didn't do another one. We're just supporting this effort through the various relationships and city agencies we have access to until we get it done, while we're still hearing all the voices of the people that feel concerns. But so far, you know, from what we've heard, we still don't understand why it's not possible to just put this into action. So that was that. We'll be working on that. I also reported that the Harbor School pool and gym, which was approved, as you all know, we're expecting drawings for that by the next committee meeting. They had to make some amendments. Some of you might remember in 2016 when they were looking at this space, they actually did drawings for this gym and swimming pool. So they're apparently making some changes to the drawings and updating them, and we should be seeing them anytime. So that was my report. And crossing guards, you know, Max was here earlier for those who didn't hear it. Councilmember Marte's office was incredibly helpful in mitigating the predicted, but unfortunately, even with the amount of effort and time we spent talking about the potential safety issues at this school in terms of drop off and pickup with the age group going in where that school is located, there still was no safety plan put in place by the DOE or SCA for the beginning of the school year, given that that building was still under construction. So we were very fortunate that the city council member was able to partner with NYPD and put together a temporary solution for us. But it is by no means a permanent solution. Really happy to hear about the crossing guards that will be coming online, hopefully. We did not get any of the ones that were graduating that the NYPD told us we would get. It is a constant problem in Manhattan, not just Lower Manhattan, with crossing guards. So we still have to work on safety at that school, and we are going to do just that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia, so much. Moving on to Battery Park City, Justine, and then right after Justine gives the report, she's going to be the one to present, I believe, with Pat, the 9/11 Responder and Survivor Health Funding Committee, which will be our last reso and a roll call. I just want everybody to know it's 8:22.
Yep, this is a great meeting. It's nice and short this month, which is lovely, and I'm not going to make it too long. All right, Battery Park City Committee. The Battery Park City security update is really not an update. I just want to encourage what I believe Pat said during the QOL presentation about people reporting if a crime happens or something happens and you're a victim of a crime, it is really important to make the police report because if there's no record of the police report, there's no record of the incident ever happening. So the person can then be wandering the streets, and social media is not the same as making a police report. So neighborhood chat, WhatsApp, whatever else, it's not the same. So that's the security update in short. A BPCA report is going to kind of flow into the Pataki Way. So for clarification, Pataki Way is not the name of any street or walkway or anything else. It is just the kind of colloquial name for the area of the Greenway. You've got the West Side Highway that goes right into Battery Park. Next to it's the bike lane going west, and next to it is the walking path. And then next to it is Little West Street. So what we're referring to as Pataki Way is the walking path. The Battery Park City Authority, in response to the imminent closure of Wagner Park and having that being under construction for resiliency purposes, offered to open up this basically three blocks of this walking path to more public uses and kind of activating the space in some way. So things I would like to throw out, because there's questions in our committee that have been resolved. During the committee report, or when they were presenting it, one of the architects mentioned that the walkway was 65 feet in width. It is not. They were measuring from the one edge of the plantings to the other edge of the plantings. That's not the case. It's closer to 25 feet in width. That's fine. We clarified that. So that took to answer you, Sarah. That is what is clarified. It's about 25 feet. Another piece of the pie that was discussed was, what's going on and what kind of things we want there. Well, the Battery Park City Authority has set up a survey that they're asking people to fill out, which I believe the community board through their newsletter has put forth and put out to the public. I would encourage people to go online and try to answer the survey. I will also recognize that Betty Kay has tried to answer the survey, and many people in her building, and myself too. It is not the most clear-cut with the questions. We've spoken to Nick, and we may be working with them to kind of beef up the survey. We also, thank you, Betty, for coming out today. We had Nick Spordone and Craig and Mimi. Craig from the Parks Department, and then Mimi was one of the other people on the construction committee there came out to kind of do a walkthrough, clarifying some things. And what we talked about and we're putting forth is asking them to not make anything that's a permanent change. Number one, in the committee, we talked about having multiple traffic studies, traffic being the cars, bikes, pedestrians, doing it. If you want to do one now, you get a sense of what's now, but most importantly, right after the construction starts and the closures begin, what's the flow? What's happening then? Then give it 3 months. What's happening then? Then give it 3 months and what's happening then to see, and also do it seasonal. They were very open to that. I thought it was a really good conversation in our meeting. And I thought it was a good conversation today, and I really appreciate Betty's input and her ideas too today. And that kind of sums it up. Basically, take a walk. People who live around there, take a walk, have some ideas of what the space would be, what you think it would be, getting input and having them have as much information as possible from the community will help. And we'll keep talking about it. So I think we're going to bring it up again next month in our committee and transportation committee too, because it's just combined. The issues are just intertwined. But that kind of sums up the Battery Park City Committee for the month of October. Thank you.
I put the link in the chat for everyone, so it should be able to be seen by both public and panelists.
And thank you, Timmy, for doing that. And let me just say too, what the authority said was, if your advice is to do nothing and leave it alone, that's advice too. So no information or no input is non-valuable. Thank you.
All righty. Any questions for Justine about anything she's reported on before we move ahead to the final resolution? All righty. Justine
nice.
and Pat, this is, okay, so we've gone through our business. This is a new business. I need to say we don't often do new business at the full board, but this is very important based on legislative needs and timing. So we have taken this as a topic in. You've heard our electeds talk about it as well. So this is our opportunity to opine. Justine and Pat, take it away.
I
You
think
heard Kimberly and you heard Justine earlier. So unfortunately, there are more people coming who need treatment than was earlier anticipated. So now they're facing a shortfall of $3 billion, and they need our elected officials to vote on additional funding of $3 billion. Is everyone, I'm sure, has read the reso. Justine, anything else you want to say?
Yes, I want to say that Kimberly Flynn has been texting me and she said there's a typo in it. Instead of it saying in the first
She doesn't have to, I can unmute her.
Okay, no, I can tell you what it is. It's really simple. Instead of saying the year 2025, it's fiscal year 2025. So that's when the shortfall will take place. It needs to be fiscal year 2025. It's very simple. If you want to unmute her, go ahead. But that was it. Otherwise,
then that's fine. That's got it.
Yeah.
All righty.
Question.
Lucian, I forgot you went too. You were there too.
All right.
Sorry.
Mimi, do you want to do roll call on this, or you want me to do who wants to do
I'll
roll
do it.
call for our final roll call of the night?
I'll do it.
Mimi, you're on. Let's roll.
Miss talking all y'all. All right. Blank. Alice.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Blank.
Just gonna turn my volume up real quick. Brown Kennedy. All right. Cameron.
Cameron, yes.
Thank you. Cassell.
Cassell, yes.
Thank you. Chang.
Chang, yes.
Thank you. Chapman.
Chapman votes yes.
Thank you. Charkoudian.
Charkoudian votes yes.
Thank you. Coleman.
Yes.
Thank you. Corman.
Gorman votes yes.
Thank you. Kucha.
Kuchia votes yes, and I want to add that Lucian was also on the walkabout with us, and I forgot him, so I want to apologize for that. But my vote is yes.
Excellent. Good, good. Squeeze my screen down a little bit. Curtis?
Camera on. Curtis votes yes.
Thank you. Flores?
Flores, yes.
Thank you. Flynn, yes. Forsberg?
Forsberg votes yes.
Thank you. Friedman?
Friedman, yes.
Thank you. Froman?
Froman, yes.
Thank you. Galloway?
Galloway, yes.
Thank you. Goldstein?
Goldstein, yes.
Thank you. Gupta?
Gupta, yes.
Thank you. Joyce?
Joyce, yes.
Thank you. Ju?
Yes.
Thank you. Kay? Kitty Kay?
Yes.
Thank you. Canal? Patrick Canal?
Keep going.
All right. Kettering?
Kettering, yes.
Thank you. Lerner?
Lerner, yes.
Thank you. Lewinson?
Lewinson, yes.
Thank you. Lynn? Lynn?
Lynn, yes.
Thank you. Lion?
Lion, yes.
Thank you. Mahoney?
Okay.
Alrighty. McHugh?
McHugh, yes.
Thank you. Meltzer?
Meltzer votes yes.
Thank you. Minsley? Minsley? All right. Moore?
Moore, yes.
Thank you. Robinson?
Robinson votes yes.
Thank you. Schneck?
Schneck votes yes.
Thank you. Star?
Star votes yes.
Thank you. Jimmy Song?
Jimmy Song votes yes.
Thank you. Vera Song?
Vera votes yes.
Thank you. Townley?
Yes.
Thank you. Z?
Z, yes.
Thank you. You?
You votes yes.
Thank you. Seltzer?
Meltzer votes yes.
Thank you. Let me just make sure. I thought I saw
Morton's here, so I
Yeah.
see Morton Minsley. So
Morton is here and Brown Kennedy is here as well.
yep.
Brown Kennedy, do you mind unmuting to vote, please?
Hey, Mimi.
Oh, hey, Mark, what's up?
Yeah, I know my camera's not working, but considering the subject matter and that I was a first responder, I just want to be on record as saying yes, of course, and that I was here. So
Okay.
I
Thank
know
you,
it
Mark.
technically doesn't count for whatever reason, but I'm a yes, of course.
It's good to hear your voice. Brown
Thank
Kennedy,
you.
I see that you are unmuted, but I can't hear you.
And I see Morton. I mean, literally see Morton.
Yeah.
Morton, can you unmute yourself and vote, please?
So funny. He too is unmuted now, but I can't hear either one of them.
Morton, at least if we
Have
can't
them
hear
nod
you.
their heads.
Yep, I got a thumbs up from Morton, so I'll take that as a yes. And then Megan Brown Kennedy, I got a thumbs up from, acknowledging, and she's nodding. That's a yes. Anybody else is missing? Mimi, you got everybody else?
I think that's oh, Patrick.
Pat.
Patrick had to leave early.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's it. So we
Okay.
are
So with that, motion passes. I want to thank everybody for their time and attention this evening. And if there are no objections and no other comments, then we will call for the meeting to close, for meeting to be adjourned. Do I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Awesome. 8:35, meeting adjourned.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well done, Tammy. That was nice.
Got an award.